would love for you to share some advice about building tech-led creative teams and teams that can really balance all of these things you're talking about. Any practices that you have put in place in terms of hiring or leading that prove effective at this moment?
Yeah. Is Lara here? Lara's right there. We worked together 17 years ago when I first left agencies and went to work at Time Warner, and we just met for the first time in a decade today. So she was on my team a long time ago. I was thinking about you. So the kind of people, I think curiosity is my number one thing that I look at for people. And the reason I say that is you want people who are pivoting to learn to be perpetual learners. And a lot of the people who are like that generally have a crooked path to where they've come into your orbit, you know? And what I mean by that is they've done different things. They've been curious, so they were like, I was a copywriter for 4 years. You're talking about creative teams. Like, I was a copywriter for 6 years, but then I started writing sitcoms, and that didn't work out. I was terrible at it. So then I became a job. And you kind of have this, like, fusion of experience. And what I found is people with that diversity, they're brave, they're resilient, they're curious, and they're good for what's next. You know, they're not just good for what's now, they're sort of positioned around that. So curiosity has always been the number one thing I like when I meet vastly diverse groups of people. And probably, you know, the focus on diversity in our industry is something I've spent some time on. And it really is a criticality of building teams, particularly anything around marketing, that we reflect the audiences we serve in measurable and immeasurable ways is really, really critical. So I look for that. And this always sounds, I say this and I always sound so lightweight when I say it, but I look for kindness and generosity. I look for people who have a natural default to have impeccably high standards and very, very like, we've got to be the best and hugely competitive, but they manage to do it in a way where they want to bring those around them with them. And I've been lucky enough to work with different kinds of teams. I've worked with very mean, brilliant people who are very tough and rude and awful, because I started out, in advertising for years. And I was, I was into it, like it was a different time. But I've just seen enormous success building a different kind of culture and people who will contribute to that culture. The other thing I would just overlay on that is you need functional expertise. You need an openness to have, like, lots of people have ideas, but then you need a respect within the culture that, if Susan really knows about typography, everyone can, like, have an opinion, but we should probably listen to Susan. Like you need to have this sort of matrix of openness and collaboration, and then respect for functional expertise around whatever artistic typography, whatever the thing may be. And if you have that balance in the culture of the team, you can sort of take on the world.
Love that. Curiosity, kindness, an untraditional path.
And generosity.
Yeah. And expertise.
Mm-hmm. And taste. The other thing I found is that you can't. No, it's true.
No.
The thing, like not everyone has everything, but one of the things I've found that you can't. It's very hard to train it. You can sort of develop it, but there's just some people that you have in a group that go, no, that's awful, and that's really good. And it sounds silly, but you just can walk into a room or you look at something. It doesn't matter what piece of design, anything. And it's not just a subjective, well, you say this and I say this. It's like, no, you need to listen to people who just naturally seem to flow through having just it's almost a soul-like thing. And if you have those people on your team, and I've been really lucky with people with far better taste than me, I listen to them, I'm like, oh, okay, like they have that. So I think that's a quality within it, fields of expertise with craft. It's really critical.